Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to paint simple flowers using acrylic paint. For the materials, you'll need a canvas or a piece of paper, a small mop brush and a liner brush. And for your paint colors, you'll need titanium white, carbon black, magenta, and burnt umber. To start, you're going to be using the small mop brush, and you're going to mix magenta with just a touch of the carbon black. This will give you a rich, deep pink that will become the base of each of the flowers. Next, you're going to start blotching out the general shapes of where the roses will go. I'm not being too precise here, we just want it to look pretty uneven and organic. It's also okay to leave some uncovered areas within the rose because this is where the lighter petals can go afterwards. I'm just going to continue to bring these blotches around the page. I decided to make a border with my flowers, but you can organize them however you want to. Next, you're going to grab your liner brush. If I'm just mixing a small amount of paint, I usually just use the brush to mix it instead of a palette knife, but this may be frowned upon by other artists. You just want to mix the magenta with some white paint until you have a pretty dark pink but still lighter than the first one. Starting from the center of the blotch you made earlier, you're going to start layering the petals. You're just going to start with small strokes around the center and then slowly work your way out, making them bigger as you go. You want to keep the shape pretty loose, expressive, and organic. You can also see I'm covering up the areas that don't have any paint, making sure there aren't any parts of the white paper showing afterwards. Once you get to the outside of the flower, you want to keep the shape pretty organic, having some areas sticking out more than others so that it looks pretty irregular. Once you finish with the first flower, you can continue to make your way around to the other flowers following the same technique. Next, using the same liner brush, you're going to create a lighter pink. So you just want to mix the magenta with a little bit more white than last time. Creating layers with lighter pinks will help to add depth to your flowers. Using this lighter pink, you're going to follow the same technique as before. Again, starting from the inside working outwards, you're going to add another layer of paint to the petals, mostly focusing on the outer edges of the petals. This will help to give the petals a sense of softness and depth. You're going to want to add this pink to the outer edges of all the petals. And then once you finish with the first flower, you can carry on to the other ones. Still using your liner brush, for the last layer of the petals, you're going to use titanium white. Using the same technique as before, you're going to build the white paint onto the outer edges of the petals. This will again add another layer of depth. If you really wanted to make your flowers pop, you could add a black outline around them. I decided not to for this video because I wanted to keep the flowers looking dainty and soft. Next, you're going to create the branches that go around and connect your flowers. So here, I'm just adding the paint color Burnt Umber to my paint palette. I'm also adding a little bit more white. You're just going to mix about 1 part of the Burnt Umber to 1 part of the titanium white to create a light brown color. Next, you're just going to start creating small branches coming out from your flowers. Again, you want to keep the shape pretty organic and irregular. You can see that I'm starting with a linear stroke and then kind of branching out to the sides. Then you just want to continue to make these branches all the way around your picture if you're doing a border like the way I am. While some of your branches are connecting the flowers, you also want to paint some of them coming outwards from the flowers into the center of the picture. The next step in the painting process is to create little rosebuds on your branches. So here I'm just mixing a light pink again, but you can make it darker if you prefer. Now I'm just painting little dots on the outsides of the branches to create the buds. I usually do around 3 or so buds on the outsides of each branch. You don't want to overcrowd it, you want them to be kind of scattered. I'm also not always making sure to make the buds touch the branches. I thought this just gave it a little bit of a fun and unique appearance. This is the last step in the painting process, so once you make your way around the whole picture, you're all done. If you are making a border like I am, you can also add a written saying in the middle if you wanted to. I just used an acrylic marker for this, but if you don't have one, you can always just use paint on your liner brush. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful. This is also my first voiceover tutorial, so I'd love to hear if you want more videos like this in the future. Bye, thanks for watching!